think she's the sexiest thing going. And I'm around young girls all day. You know, with students. I see young girls all day. But my wife is so sexy. I love it. I love it. And I keep that in my mind. And I tell her. That's part of the communication thing. All right. So those are some of the interpersonal skills. That is, in terms of the way you are going to relate to other people. Let me give you a couple of the intrapersonal skills. You see, the first one here is self-esteem. The next one is enjoyment of one's own company. So let me just kind of put those two together and say this. You can't give what you ain't got. You see, if you don't love you, you can't love me. If you don't like you, you can't like me. If you don't like yourself, you can't like your wife. You can't give what you ain't got. You see a lot of our young folks out here that have no respect for adults, have no respect for authority, and when you get right down to it, they don't have any respect for themselves. Because you can't give what you ain't got. You can't lend me a buck if you broke, because you can't give what you ain't got. You can't love me, like me, tolerate me, respect me, unless you do it for yourself first. Okay. Another intrapersonal skill is an internal locus of control. Now let me tell you what I mean by that. Just from a psychological point of view, it's believed that we have either an internal locus of control or an external locus of control. An internal locus of control is a belief that I am in charge of my own fate and destiny. An external locus of control would be blaming everything on somebody else. People don't give black people a chance, or I'm fat, or I'm short. If you have that belief, then other people control your destiny. But if you believe you can control your own destiny, you have an internal locus of control. All right. Another intrapersonal skill is an appreciation of God. I probably should have put that first. An appreciation of God. Appreciation of one's own sexuality. Just my point of view, I enjoy being a man. God made me a man, and I enjoy being a man. And when I go out of here, they'll say, there goes that man. Real simple. An awareness of gratitude. For the past 10 or 15 years, I have been telling my wife, thank you, every single time she puts a meal in front of me. Every time. She doesn't have to do that. There was nothing in the contract that said, and you have to, for better or for worse, and I will put a meal in front of them every day.
It's not there.
It's not there. So you better say thankful. You better stay thankful, because it's not in there. If she feeds me 3 times a day, I say thank you 3 times a day.
Oh, yes.
It's good to show gratitude. Because see, if you can show gratitude to your wife like that, you'll probably show gratitude to God. You see, you're not going to do much of anything for God that you ain't going to do for someone else on this planet. As human beings, and I have, when I gave you my presentation on the relationship between mental illness and spiritual warfare, one of the things I talked about is identity. Identity, whatever your primary identity is very possibly what's going to direct your life. If your primary identity is that of being a man, you'll be macho. If your primary identity is being white, you may go into a superiority complex. If your main identity is of being a woman, you'll probably end up a feminist, if that's your primary identity. You know, however, our primary identity should be that we are spiritual beings. This is just a cover. See, this is just the window dressing that you're looking at. You see, my primary identity is not that of being a man, or even being black, or even being 5'7", or being a doctor. My primary identity is that of being a spiritual being with a temporary physical body. So anyway, because of that, I can have gratitude for all the things that God does for me. And that starts with having gratitude. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Take care. God bless.